You can't take it back, no. I've got so much left to say, but I'll take my words and walk away.
Lake Abraham in Canada doesn't necessarily sound like a sort of place worth visiting, but make your way there during the winter, and you will come face to face with the coolest and deadliest natural phenomena in the Americas. Beneath the frozen surface of the lake, flammable bubbles of methane gas bumps up against the ice, just waiting for someone to light a spark and set them off. Cause the bacteria feeding on decaying animal and plant matter, the methane bubbles usually rise on the surface without anyone ever noticing. But in winter, they turn into white sacks of gas suspended at all sorts of angles in frozen water. The results are unbelievable awesome towers of bubbles, trapped beneath the surface of the lake, where any walker can get a clear view of them. This animal show has led to Abraham Lake becoming one of the biggest photography hotspots in Canada. You're probably aware that we only ever see the very top of icebergs. Over 90% of their mass floats along silently underneath the water, rarely ever noticed by human eyes. Unless that is, you're lucky enough to be in the vicinity of one that flips. An iceberg flipping over is really quite a dangerous affair. Usually, it happens just after it has calved into the water, and gravity hasn't quite yet got the hang of which bit should be on the bottom. When a large iceberg does flip, it throws to release around as much as energy as atomic bomb going off, and can easily swamp even the largest ocean vessel. But if you manage to survive all that, you will be treated to a pleasant surprise because the underside of an iceberg can be beautiful. Without a layer of snow covering it, an iceberg underside can appear vibrantly, painfully blue. This is because it absorbs light at the red end of the spectrum, meaning the ice itself seems to glow brilliant blue. The result is like something out of a science fiction film, and like so many of the hidden wonders in our world, amazingly beautiful too. Ask a kid to draw you a radioactive pool, and you will probably wind up with something like the Devil's Bath in New Zealand, small lake in the Taupo volcanic zone near Rotorua. The pool is filled with water that glows a bright and natural green. Since this is a volcanic zone, you can probably guess what cause of the bad unnatural color. The whole thing sits over vast deposit of sulfur that breaks off and floats to the top, giving the surface its distinctive hue. This ensures the stagnant waters never look like anything other than radioactive slime. It also ensures they sting to high heaven. In fact, the whole zone has such a thick, egg smell that even guidebooks have compared to the atmosphere to walking into the aftermath of gigantic internal fog. The Devil Bath isn't the only lake on the earth to achieve such a deep green color. Kalimutu Lake in Indonesia also looks like a secret nuclear dumping site. Far out in the dry and dusty plains of Anatolia lies one of Turkey's biggest tourist draws, Cappadocia, a UNESCO World Heritage Site of ancient rock home, underground church, and Byzantine art. It's probably one of the most historically important areas in the Middle East, so it's kind of strange to discover it's also home to a forest of gigantic stone dildos. Yup, that's right. Thanks to a long history of geological upheaval, rocks around the little town of Gorim have fashionated themselves into all kinds of weird shapes. Now here have these shapes been weirder than in Love Valley, sticking straight up into the sky and covered with the slightly conical bulges at the top. The rocks here look more or less exactly like Ron Jeremy Jones on steroids. The entire valley is full of them, numerous stone wangs stretching off into the distance as far as eye can see. The area is now a favorite destination for European fuckboys to go and take amusingly suggestive photos. The last place on earth you expect to find anything is the Libyan desert, the most inhospitable part of the already inhospitable Sahara. It's the sort of place where you can expect to encounter sand, rock, and nothing else. But go on to specific area and start digging in the sand. You might well find one of the region's most mysterious artifacts, Libyan glass. Large lumps of yellow silica, this glass has been confounding locals for millennia. The Assyrian people used it to make tools and weapons. The ancient Egyptians made elaborate jewelry from it. In the 1930s, the first Western explorers stumbled across it and tried to figure out what could possibly have caused it. Today, it's widely assumed that the glass was created by a long ago meteor or comet crash superheating in the sand around 2000 degrees Celsius. What the glassy desert must have looked like in the minutes immediately following the impact we can only imagine.